The Apple AirPods Pro and the new Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus are two of the best truly wireless earbuds. They both have wireless charging, they both have excellent features, both claim to have the best call quality, but how exactly do they stack up side by side? Despite both being high-quality earbuds, they're actually very different and serve very different users. So which pair is right for you? In this video, I will break down the similarities and differences in 6 major categories, including general differences such as price and comfort, call quality with an in-depth microphone test, form factor, features, sound quality, and compatibility. So stick around to make sure you buy the right pair of earbuds.
Now, I want to start off by talking about some of the basic differences between these. The first one, and one that everybody will notice immediately, is actually the price. So the AirPods Pro sell for $250, whereas the Galaxy Buds Plus sell for $150. And the AirPods Pro do have some added features though, such as active noise cancellation, which is a pretty big one, and it's something you really don't see in cheaper earbuds. Now, the Galaxy Buds only have passive noise cancellation, meaning when you put them in, it does nothing extra except just kind of block off the noise with the rubber tips. And for those of you who don't know what active noise cancellation is, it essentially takes the sound from the outside with the microphones and plays the inverse of it through the speakers and cancels out the sound waves to make it essentially quieter than it otherwise would be if you just plugged your ears. Another basic difference is the aesthetic. So while these both right here are glossy white, the Galaxy Buds do actually come in at least 4 different colors, depending on when you're watching it, possibly more, whereas the AirPods only come in white, as you see right here. As far as comfort goes, we'll look at the AirPods first, and you can see that what actually goes in your ear is purely just a silicone tip. It doesn't have any plastic in there. And then on the backside, we do have that vent, so it is supposed to equalize the pressure so you don't jam it in your ear and have any discomfort there. So that's definitely a big plus, but you'll also notice that it doesn't have any kind of wingtip to keep in your ear. It just is relying purely on the shape of the bud, the plastic part, and the silicone tip to stay in your ear. For the most part, it does a pretty good job, but if you're doing more dynamic workouts, it does have a tendency to maybe come out of your ear. Now, looking at the Galaxy Buds on the flip side, you do have the silicone tip there, which is actually on top of plastic, so slightly less compliant, slightly less comfortable for longer periods of time if you're sitting still. But if you're working out, it definitely does a better job of staying in your ear because it's more compact, more in your ear, and it has the wing tips. You have 3 different wing tips and 3 different little ear tips themselves, so that these can really be the perfect size to seal off sound around you and to fit in your ear and stay in your ear during more dynamic workouts. Now, I mentioned that these do have different microphones, so let's actually test those out right now, first in a studio environment and then outside in a loud environment to see which one sounds better when you're on a phone call. Okay, so first off, we're going to test out the Galaxy Buds, and we're switching over. And this is what the Galaxy Buds sound like. Again, in a studio setting, Galaxy Buds Plus, do they sound good? Do they sound bad? So this is what the AirPods sound like, again, in a studio environment. So does it sound clear? Does it not sound clear? Comment down below. And let's go outside and see what it sounds like in an outdoor noisy environment. Okay, so there's a highway right behind me, and this is what the AirPods sound like when I'm talking on the phone next to a highway. So we'll see how well this actually sounds. And now these are the Galaxy Buds. I think this might be more sound now than there was with the AirPods because there's a siren right there. We'll see how well this actually sounds. Comment down below if you can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so this is the AirPods. I was able to get another siren behind me, so see how well this sounds, if you can hear what I'm saying or not. Again, a lot of traffic, a lot of volume back there, including the sirens. Hey guys, a quick aside, if you're new here and have not yet subscribed, please consider going down and clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss future videos just like this one. So getting into the next category of the physical aspect of these earbuds, these both have water-resistant ratings. The AirPods Pro are IPX4 and the Galaxy Buds are IPX2. Practically speaking, they're both water-resistant and they both work fine for most environments when you're running or it's raining and you're sweating, like whatever it is, they're pretty much fine for most normal use. Now, the battery life on these earbuds is actually a big difference between the two of these, so this is really important that you guys know this when you're looking at these two earbuds. The AirPods Pro are rated for about 4.5 hours when you're using active noise cancellation or transparency mode. If you have that off, they say you can get 5 hours, but still, that's very, very short considering most modern earbuds on the market today. Now, the Galaxy Buds have 11 hours per earbud, which means that, I mean, that's definitely on the high end. So we have a big difference there where it's almost 3 times as long of a battery life. I guess it's more like 2.5 times for the Galaxy Buds Plus compared to the AirPods Pro. But when we start factoring the case, the AirPods definitely make a comeback there. With the case, they should be getting about 24 hours of battery life, whereas the Galaxy Buds with the case should be getting 22 hours of battery life. Specifically talking about the touch controls there, the AirPods Pro have a touch control that is a force sensor, so you kind of have to pinch them on the side there, on the little stem coming out of your ear, whereas the Galaxy Buds are a touch sensor, capacitive touch sensor on your ear, so you just tap it like that, and it can skip songs. They both do essentially the same thing with their controls. So as far as features go, you can get the Galaxy Wearable app now on Apple or Android. So we'll start off with that one and look at the features in the app. Now you see that you do have ambient sound first of all. So it shows you it's like low, medium, high, or there's extra high, which is a labs feature. You can also turn it off. And just commenting on the ambient sound, which for Apple they call it transparent mode, I found that between the two of them, the Apple one sounds a little bit better to me. It sounds more natural. It definitely sounds more like transparent, as they called it, where when I'm talking, it sounds as if I was talking without earbuds in at all. Now, the Galaxy Buds can be either quieter or louder than that, depending on which level you choose, but it definitely is not like the highest quality feedback there. Obviously, using microphones all the way up there tends to be a little bit more sibilant. Now, we do have an equalizer here in the app, and you have 6 different settings right there. I always use dynamic. It sounds best to me. Then we can adjust our notifications, the touchpad controls, and you actually have one of 4 options. So you can control the volume, you can have ambient sound turning on or off, you can have a voice command, so Google Assistant or Siri or Bixby or whatever you use. And then lastly, you can summon Spotify, which I think is a really nice feature to have. Then as we go down, there is Find My Earbuds. Advanced just lets you use ambient mode during phone calls. And then lastly, if we go into labs, you have 3 cool things here. So you do have gaming mode, which if you're playing games, it should be reducing the lag. Then we have extra high ambient mode. I talked about that already. And double tap the earbud edge, which uses the accelerometer in the Galaxy Buds to turn the volume up or down. So if you double tap it, it shakes the earbud, registers as a volume up or a volume down, which frees up the touch and hold feature to do one of the other 3 functions. The AirPods Pro do have some really cool features such as the active noise cancellation and the transparency mode, which you can use with Apple or Android devices. But other than that, most of the other features you will be only using from your iPhone. So if you have an iPhone, you can do things like the fit test, which uses like the onboard microphones and speakers to let you know how well it actually fits in your ear and if you have the proper size ear tip. Only if you have an iPhone can you customize the AirPods Pro touch and hold feature, and even then you have very few options. By default for Apple or for Android, it toggles between transparency mode and active noise cancellation, but if you have an iPhone, you can set it to summon Siri instead, or with an iPhone, you can just say, "Hey Siri," and it'll recognize your voice. Now, if you have an Android phone, saying "Hey Siri" obviously does nothing, and you can also not summon any of your other voice assistants. So next up is sound quality, which can be subjective depending on like your ear shape or what sound you like to hear, what music you like, things like that. But regardless, the AirPods Pro have an emphasis on somewhere around 1100 hertz. So that means you have some pretty big mids and very clear vocals. And on top of that, I found that the bass was a little bit weak compared to like the Jabra Elite 75Ts and also compared to the Galaxy Buds. So if you're listening to acoustic music or if you're listening to, very vocal present music, then it definitely sounds a little bit more forward and a little bit clearer than the Galaxy Buds. Now, the Galaxy Buds are better if you're listening to music that has more bass. So if you're listening to like a Blink 182 kind of band that has like all the instruments up front, with the AirPods, you're going to hear the vocals and you really won't hear as much of like the heavy drum and guitar distortion in the background. Whereas the Galaxy Buds, that's way more forward and it's kind of all in line with the vocals there. Again, depends on your taste, but for different styles of music, I would say AirPods are better for like podcasts and vocal type things, probably better for phone calls, whereas the Galaxy Buds are definitely more bass heavy stuff. And they do have, again, I use dynamic mode on there, so you have pretty good highs, pretty good lows, and the vocals are a little bit more recessed, in my opinion, compared to the AirPods Pro. So like I mentioned earlier, as far as operating systems go, both of these work with Android or Apple. The Galaxy Buds definitely play nicer with both sides because you can now get the Galaxy Wearable app on Apple, so you can do the customization there, whereas the AirPods Pro, You cannot really get any apps on Android to do anything with that. You can get some extra third-party ones that can tell you like the battery level of them, but other than that, you're not going to be doing much customization. Okay, so that was a lot of information, but which is actually the better pair of earbuds for you to buy? Now, the Galaxy Buds are an excellent mid-range pair of earbuds. $150 is a reasonable price considering all the features you get packed into these. So they're very customizable, they have excellent sound quality, they have an incredible battery in the earbud itself, and on top of that, they also connect and they play very well with pretty much everything you're going to use. So Apple or Android, Samsung or not Samsung, they work very well with pretty much everybody out there. And so for that reason, I would say your average user will definitely have a good time using these earbuds. Now the AirPods Pro are definitely a more premium earbud, definitely more expensive, and you do get that active noise cancellation, which is a really nice feature to have if you're in louder environments. Now, of course, they also have some more subtle, more unique Apple type things, such as like the pressure equalization, the pressure pad controls, the optical sensors, the speech accelerometer, and specifically looking at the touch controls again, it is a difference between these earbuds where the Galaxy Buds are easier just to tap on your ear there, but because of that, you may have some accidental touch controls. If you're adjusting your earbuds, you might accidentally pause a song. Whereas on the AirPods, it's definitely more deliberate when you have to pinch it and there is that pressure control. So comment down below which one you like better and why. Again, I really hope this was an unbiased review to you. I tried to be as neutral as possible. They're both great earbuds, just for different purposes. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, please remember to like and subscribe. As always, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.